Hi, Daryl from Darbeth here. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between internal and external computer networks and some simple tips on troubleshooting. You've got computers and printers, I'm sure, in your office, and that's an example of an internal network. So when your computer is talking to your printer to do a job, either printing or scanning, etc., that is contained entirely within your office. You have a limited number of devices in there. You know exactly what they all are, and that's a very simple type of network. And the device that we use to manage that network is called a switch. I'm sure you've seen them. That's the one with all the cables which are plugged into it, and you've seen the big messes, I'm sure, of some photos, and they shouldn't be a mess, but get Tim and chomped out. So that is an internal network. We often call that a LAN, a local area network. The other type is if you want to connect to the website which is outside of your office, that's an external network, or WAN, wide area network. Now, there's a big difference there because you've got lots and lots of other devices which are sitting out in the WAN to connect to. There's an addressing protocol called IPv4, which is commonly used, and it's actually used up all the available addresses on there. There are over 4 billion IPv4 addresses, and every one of them used up having to go to a new protocol called IPv6. But the point of this is, compared to your local office, you do not have anywhere near 4 billion devices in your local office, but we need a different type of device to actually connect to those 4 billion devices, and that's called a router. And that router is the first thing that your internet connection connects to when it comes into your office. It's usually actually small offices and homes, all the router and the switch and a few other things all combined together in the one box. But the routers come in lots of different formats. But it's what you need to have to be able to get outside of your office to that external network. Okay, so now we've got a rough idea of what they are. What do you do when something goes wrong? Well, say you can't get your printer to work and you think it could be the network. First of all, have a look at the cable which is on your computer itself, assuming you've got a cabled network connection, not a Wi-Fi network connection, and just follow it all the way through to that switch and make sure it is plugged in properly. Sometimes they can appear to be plugged in, but they're not actually connected. And the way you know that is they'll have some lights on there. One light should be solid, and one light should be flickering when there's actually network traffic on it. So just double check that. Then go to your printer, follow that from that end back in, and do the same with that. So you should have two cables plugged in, both of them with lights on, both of them showing flickering lights when there's activity on the network. And if you want to press the print button, you should be able to see the lights flickering on both of them at the same time. So if that doesn't work, you still think it could be a network connection type problem. So you might have multiple printers, multiple computers I should say, not able to see that printer. Then just cycle the power on the printer. Sometimes, say typically if you had a thunderstorm and the lightning has come through, it scrambled the internal config. So turning the power off, letting it sit for 10 seconds, and then turning the power back on will often allow all of that to reset. So that could be a way to clear all of that. If it's not that, then you might have to call for extra help. Okay, so what if this time the problem is you can't get your internet? You can't get through to your external servers on the cloud, that sort of thing. That is a problem with the WAN, so therefore we go not to the switch, but we go to the router. We find that same cable which comes into the router, and like we did with the switch, is it plugged in firmly? Are there lights turned on? One on and one flickering when there's activity. And at the router, you should see flickering activity most of the time if you're in an office network because you've got some sort of activity going on. And that's pretty much all that you can do with that. Again, like the printer, if you've maybe had a thunderstorm come through, you might need to reset the power on it. Turn it off, wait 10 to 15 seconds, turn it back on again and see what happens. That doesn't solve everything, but it solves 3/4 of the problems that a lot of people have in this area, and that might just save you a call out to a technician. And if it's not one of those, at least when you call the technician up, you can tell them, I've done this, this and this, and then they've got actually some confidence that you've done the right thing and that is a genuine problem to deal with. Okay, so that's today's topic about internal and external networks. We'll catch you again next week. Bye.